Okay, so this is my chicken cell that I bought at Hy-Vee, 88 cents a pound, and I have a concept in my mind of a fiesta type stew to make with it. So I'm just going to basically use what I have around the house, and we're going to see if we can come up with a nice concoction for that. The first thing I'm going to add is 2 cans of fat-free refried beans. What I did was I cooked the chicken in my slow cooker, added some water and just cooked the chicken in that. And I've taken 2 cups of that chicken broth that came from the chicken, and I'm going to mix it in with this beans. So that's the chicken broth from the chicken that I cooked in the slow cooker. Trying to make a nice little base here. I hope it tastes good, but I haven't, like I say, this isn't a recipe that I'm following or anything. It's just things I got around the house. Okay. Now I know I've got some paste salsa here. I did make a mistake when I bought this a few weeks ago and bought the hot. So this is very spicy stuff, but we'll mix it in there. Ooh, that's spicy. Tastes good though. Spicy, but good. Now, let's see. I think I got some corn up here. Let's put a can of sweet corn in there. Okay, I'm going to simmer that for a minute. Put that on medium heat. When I cook my chicken in the crock pot, I added 2 cans of Rotel to the chicken, and then probably like 5 cups of water, and just let that cook overnight on low. When I pulled the chicken out and stripped it from the bones and took the skin off, I scooped out my tomatoes from the Rotel. I'm going to dump those in there as well. And this is the amount of chicken that I got from that in the slow cooker after I took the bones and the skins off. Originally I was thinking maybe I might make like a lasagna, a fiesta lasagna. But instead of using noodles, I bought a bag of Doritos. I was going to put a layer of crushed Doritos, a layer of cheese, a layer of crushed Doritos, a layer of this mixture here, a layer of crushed Doritos, another layer of cheese, and a layer of crushed Doritos. But then you're talking really thick stuff there, and for the freeze drying, you can only go about 1/2 inch thick really. So I'd have to cut it and lay it on its side, and then when you reconstitute it, you're going to end up mixing it all up together anyway. So I decided, well, why don't I just make kind of like a casserole. Like this, and just eat it that way. So I'm still playing with it in my mind as we go. It tastes pretty good though. That hot picante sauce gives it a nice kick. Got a piece of bone there. No. Okay. I did buy 2 blocks of cheese when I was in the idea of doing the lasagna. I got the block of queso blanco Velveeta and a block of the original Velveeta, thinking I'd do two different colors of cheese in the layers. So we'll probably just end up cubing this up and throwing it in there. We'll get this heated up first. I'll come back to you when that's nice and heated. Okay, so that's starting to boil now. Let me tell you, it tastes really good. Not added no seasoning to that yet. Probably won't. So I'm going to cut up a block of this. This is a 1 pound block of the Velveeta. Mix that in there. If it needs more, I'll put that block of the regular Velveeta in there. Get that all melted. That is good. I'm going to add another can of corn. I love corn. I love sweet corn. That is good. That is very good. I don't think I'll be adding that other Velveeta. There's plenty of cheese flavor in that. I'm thinking that if I weren't going to freeze dry this, what I would do right now is get a box of Jiffy, mix that up, spoon that on the top of this, pop that in the oven, and make a beautiful casserole out of that. But cornbread doesn't reconstitute very well. Okay, so after doing some thinking on that, I mean, it'd be nice with some rice or some noodles or something, but it needs something substantial, because I'm not really a keen fan of soup, just soup, and that's thicker than a soup, probably thicker than a stew. So I thought about chopping up some potatoes. I got about 4 medium-sized potatoes there, kind of making a scallopy type idea with it. So I'm going to mix those in with it, kind of give you something to bite into. And that fork is not going to do the trick anymore. Get a spoon. Let's see if that's enough potatoes. I might peel up some more. What I'm going to do is boil these until those potatoes are nice and tender, but not to the point where they dissolve. Probably should have drained the water off those potatoes. I got that on a medium-low heat. I think I'll put a couple more potatoes in there. I'm just running out of room. Okay, I've let that simmer for about an hour, and I stirred it occasionally, and I also did end up adding some more potatoes. As you can see, my pot is full to the brim. The potatoes are pretty much tender. I don't want to overcook the potatoes because I don't want them to fall apart when I freeze dry them. So basically I would say I added about 4 pounds of potatoes, and I sliced them. It probably would have been better for me to boil those potatoes and get them parboiled on their own before adding them to this, because they are taking quite a bit of time to cook inside the casserole, or whatever you want to call this. See what happens there? There's a little bit of browning from me not stirring it enough, which is alright. I just think that it needed the potatoes because it needed something more substantial in it. And ideally I could have put that over rice, but I've got so many rice dishes and pasta dishes already in my long-term storage. Then I thought a scallopy type potato would be good. The flavor on this is actually delicious. So I'm going to say, like I say, so I've simmered this for an hour with the raw potatoes when I put in. So I would say simmer it until your potatoes are tender but not falling apart mush. We're pretty close there, and I'm just going to call that good for the video. I'm going to turn the heat off because there's a lot of heat built up in this, and it might just cook those potatoes just that last bit. And then we'll let this all cool down, then we'll get it all trayed up for the freeze dryer. I got 2 more runs before this to put in, so let's see if I can see how tender that potato is. If I just stick a fork through it, I'm alright. Yeah, see how it breaks apart there? That's probably just about right. That's good. So there you have it. I'll see you when I tray these up. Okay, so I'm ready to tray this stuff up. And all day long at work today I've been trying to think, what can I call this? Because it's way too thick to call it a soup, and it's really almost too thick to call it a stew, but it's a really great combination. And when I was putting, I was filling some trays, these molds up with my first batch from this, and I got to look at it, I thought, you know what, that kind of looks like a Sloppy Joe. But I want to have a Hispanic Mexican twist to it, because I use refried beans, I use rotel, I use con queso cheese, you know, all the Mexican spices and stuff. So how I'm going to eat this and serve this is on a bun, and it's going to be a Sloppy Juan. I'm John and Bibs. I'm pretty sloppy. And we're going to call this Sloppy Juans. How's that sound? So anyway, I just want to show you me filling up these molds. I'll get some of that on videotape for you, and then we'll get this in the freezer frozen solid, and it'll be the next into the freeze dryer. I did go through and chopped up some of the potatoes a little bit smaller. So you'd really, if you were going to put potatoes in it, you would want to dice it for this, I think. But we can use my slice because I kind of went through it and broke them into smaller pieces. That's exactly what that looks like. That'll make a good sandwich. Or on a flour tortilla, but I don't eat a lot of tortillas. And I want to kind of keep in the theme of a Sloppy Joe on a bun, except for a Sloppy Juan. I like that. Kind of put a smile on my face. That's a good one. So if I see any potatoes in there that are pretty big, I'm just chopping them up. So there you have it. There's another tray. I'll get those in the freezer. I'll finish traying that up, and we'll see you when they come out of the freeze dryer. Okay, here's my Sloppy Juans coming out of the freeze dryer. I ended up putting these in probably about 55 hours, I think it was. I cleared it already. Reason being, it said it was final dry and about ready to finish at about 30 hours, but the mTORs were like in the 300s, and I knew that wouldn't be dry. So I added basically another 24 hours on that, I think, just to let that dry some more. And I think the reason that is because this has potatoes in it, and potatoes notoriously take a long time to dry. So I'm going to get these packed up. What I'm going to do for now is pack the bulk of these in a big gallon bag, so that at a later date I can individually put them in packaging, and then I'm going to package a couple up as I'm going to really store them, and I'll show you how I do that, but I want to get this cleared off my table first. Okay, so I got those all packaged up now and sealed up so they won't go soft on me. So this is the way I would like to package them for my MREs. I got my 1 pint gusset. I think I'm going to put 1 per pouch. These are 7 mil, so these are my permanent storage. What is that in there? Oh, that's the bottom of the gusset. So I'm going to do that. These are my 100 cc O2 absorbers. Drop 1 in each. Drop 1 of them in each of those bags. Ziploc it. And since I've already wasted the bag, I'm going to go ahead and seal these in my heat sealer here. That's using my VacMaster Pro 380. I'll put a link in the description down there in case you're interested in which one I use. And it puts a really nice seal on that. The reason I like these bags is the Ziploc's way down here. The tear strip's halfway up, and it leaves you plenty of room to get that heat seal on between the tear strip and the top of the bag. A lot of those ones you buy off the eBay, they'll give you a little bitty strip between the tear strip or the Ziploc and the top of the bag, and basically you end up where you can't use the Ziploc because it's so close to the top. There's no way to get it open after heat sealing it and still retain the Ziploc. But I want to retain the Ziploc, so that's how it would be. It's got an O2 absorber in there, so that's how I would package that. And it'll be written on here, this is going to be Sloppy Juans and how much water to add. But that's part of my experiment here, is I want to find out how much water to add to this before I write out my labels. So if you had really strong hands, you could take this tear strip right here and rip that. But this is 7 mil, and it is really hard to tear. I mean, I just about got a tear in it. Where is it? I don't know. I just got my scissors here. If I had it out in the field and I'd had a knife, I'd have just cut that off. So, get that open. Like that. Stand it up like that. Let's get some boiling water. Let me get this sealed up too, so that don't go bad. My other O2 in there. Yeah, I just took that out of my Keurig. What it give me? 4 ounces, half a cup of water. I'm not gonna put that much in there at first. I'm gonna probably go. Well, we'll see. Oh, John, you didn't take the O2 absorber out. There you go. Always take your O2 absorber out. Well, that's about 1/4 of a cup. I'm going to squeeze all the air out of that. Ziplock that shut. I'm going to let that sit for a few minutes. Okay, that's set about a minute, so I went and got me my Sailor Boy pilot bread, because that's how I'm going to package it in my MRE. So let's see what it tastes like on a pilot bread. I opened these probably, well, over a month ago, and all they are is just little bread tie on a plastic bag. That's how they ship them, that's how they make them. And I tried one this morning just to make sure when I do the video they were going to be fresh. And they're still fresh. So they keep long term, just like that. Just like a loaf of bread. And we're going to put them in a vacuum sealed bag in my MREs, which will be even better. Okay, let's get this open. Okay, that's what it looks like inside the pouch. Let me put this off to the side here. Obviously, out there in the field, you'd just be using it from the pouch. But I want to make sure that this is all rehydrated. Which it feels kind of dry. I'm going to put another bit of water in there. That feels like it might be a little bit moist. Right on the edge of it. But I got potatoes in there and I want those potatoes rehydrated, so leave that sit in a second. Nice and hot, these pouches. Alright. Let's get that out of there. Yeah, that looks about the right consistency. Get all that yummy out of there. Alright. Made a mess back there. Mess is my middle name. Alright, so that's what it looks like. Put it on some crackers. I'm going to take that off there because That's just the way I am. I ain't gonna waste that. Alright, let me take a taste on its own. Definitely maintained its flavor. That's good. And let's see what it tastes like on my bread stroke cracker. That tastes really good. It tastes kind of like, if I put my mind to it, have you ever bought those honeybee crackers and tuna spread that comes in a little bitty tin in a box with some crackers? Used to be at Dollar General for $1 each. Kind of got that texture to it. Obviously this is more substantial, being a 4-inch cracker and thicker. But my spread has definitely got that texture to it. It's definitely got the flavoring in it. I think I'll package with this some of my freeze-dried salsa, which I did a video on earlier. Put a little pouch of that in there, just in case I want a little kick. Because I taste the chicken in this. I can taste the spice in that, but it might use a little bit more. But I don't want to overdo it because other people might be eating this in an emergency, and they might not be able to tolerate hot food. So I think the best solution would be to put some of that salsa, just a little pouch, in the packet with the MRE. That way you can add more if you like. That is really good. I'm 100% happy with that. Oh yeah. I love these crackers. I'm gonna have to buy me some more. I bought 2 boxes and I'm about halfway through my first box. And I haven't packaged everything up individually yet. I was to replace some of that. That's really good. And I think that corn in there has really set it off well. The potatoes look like they kind of, when I rehydrated it and shook it and squeezed it, kind of blended in with the paste, if you want to call it, for want of a better word, of my spread here. But all the flavors are there. The peppers are in there. Oh yeah, that's good. There you have it. Juan and Bibs, Sloppy Juans. John and Bibs, Sloppy Juans. There you go. I'll catch you on the next video. Delicious.